All right. Hey, good day, everybody. Hope you're doing great. This is Derek Parker, Regional Vice President. Thanks so much for joining us. Today, we're going to talk a little bit about field training, such a very, very big component in our business. And I have two wonderful teammates with me. Of course, I have TP, my lovely wife, Tawanda. Say hey, TP.
Hello, good morning, Big Bay Shop.
And then I have, hey, an awesome division leader in Yusuf Lee. Hey, say hello, Yi.
What's going on, Big Bay Shop?
Absolutely. So a lot of people have asked questions about, the field training process, such a very, very key component in the business. It's important for a couple of reasons. Number one, field training really has a place in the sense of really helping a new person get off to a very fast start. So we want to make sure that as people coming through the business, they're not just being trained by anybody, because of course, your experience coming into the business brand new, you want it to be a very favorable experience. You want it to be a great experience where you're working with somebody who's competent, who's knowledgeable, who's professional, who really knows exactly what they're doing. And sometimes that takes a little bit to get up to speed. So that would be harsh to put those expectations on a brand new person. So that's where a field trainer really comes into place to really help that person. And then secondly, as that person really begins to get going and start to evolve, it really helps them as far as still having a field trainer in place to really be competent to help them work and train with their people. When you say, Lee, when you say that that's a really big deal, as people get going, they get licensed, there's a couple things that's thrown at them. How important would you say that is to still work with their field trainer to work through their new people?
I think that's number one. Is you definitely got to have a great field trainer working with your new people. Just speaking of my experience, when I first got started in the business, I know everybody's situation is different, but when I got first started in the business, I was working 3 to 11 shift, and I would set appointments in the morning. Sometimes I couldn't get on appointments in the evening, but even when I did have appointments in the evening, I would let my more experienced person that recruited me directly, and Marvin Thomas, go out on appointments with that person, just because he's more seasoned. Even though I'm licensed, he's more seasoned and he has more experience, and he can teach more things to that person more than I do, because I might think I know it, but I really don't know it, just because that person has more success than I do.
Absolutely. That's a very, very important point, definitely that works, having that relationship with that person and buying into the system. Exactly. That, hey, this person has my best interest at heart. They're not taking my people, but they're really helping my people. Exactly. Wouldn't you say that's important, TP?
Oh, I agree 100%. Because you have a license, number one, getting your license, that's a huge step. So definitely congratulations to you. And just like it was said, even on the call today, none of us have arrived. And Yusuf said it best. When he got started, the person that brought him on, because Marvin was more seasoned, it says, you know what, I'm going to continue to trust the process because he's been in it longer. So he just really nailed it right there. So that's really important, because you got it. That's good. Again, kudos to you. But you just want to make sure that, number one, you just definitely stay coachable. And that's exactly what Yusuf has done to get the success.
Absolutely. Yeah. It's, really, I think the important thing is early on is really buying in, especially in a business like ours that really has a team concept. We know that the sum of the whole is better than any individual parts. So it's important that we buy into really the team concept. And thank God for field trainers, because I know myself personally, getting up to speed, starting the business, as you mentioned, TB, is such a drastic learning curve. Absolutely. And people learn at different levels. Some people are, what we call in our business A types. They're just really action oriented. They learn very, very fast. You like yourself, Lee. You were very, very action oriented. And then some people kind of learn a little bit slower. So the great thing about the field trainer process is again, that you're able to really kind of help people regardless of where they're at. Lee, what would you say as far as, I really want to kind of talk about really the overriding structure of how that works as a field trainer. Because let's just say you recruited me, and let me just kind of throw a scenario out there. You recruited me into the business. I'm a fast learner. I'm going to learn very fast. You tell me, hey, look, most people get licensed in 6 weeks, license and train. I'm thinking now in my head, I'm going to do it really fast. So I start to, really kind of get licensed, maybe to fast forward a little bit. How would you work with me in that capacity as far as me still bringing new people in and writing sales? I mean, talk to me a little bit of like I'm your newly licensed person. How does that work?
Newly licensed person that I just recruited in the business, I'll go over the basics with them. But as far as when they recruit somebody into the business, they're going to get their direct recruit or anything like that. But once they get that direct recruit, just because they're not seasoned right now, I will go out and field train that person. That new recruit will still get the credit for that. But if we was to write any type of business, I'm not going to take all the credit for that, because that's your person. We're going to split sales. Just like how when I first started, we split sales when I first started with Marvin. But that's how I will explain that to them, just because that's the system that we're in. We're trying to duplicate ourselves. Just like I said, I have more experience than that new person. So that's how I'll go about it.
Absolutely, yeah. That's a big thing right there, because sometimes people kind of like, that's a sticking point when it comes to money. They gotten licensed and now they're thinking, okay, I want to write the wholesale and there's a fine line, because you're obviously trying to get the best result for the person that you're working with or training. So splitting sales is not a big deal. I mean, it's not, because you're still getting something.
Yeah.
In other words, if I'm a newly licensed person. So that's a really important thing. And Tawanda, when you say that there's still some things that, as a newly licensed person, when you still say that they still need to learn some basics behind the scenes, like how to make calls and really kind of like how to get up to speed on, POL and learning those things. When you say some of those basics are important?
Absolutely. I mean, being in the business and a partner, but I am licensed. So one of the things is, in the partnership, you have a choice. And I could very well choose to go out in the field, but that's the choice that I chose not to do. But when it's coming to the training part, because I show up to everything, because I attend everything, I am capable of running an appointment. And so, I know we talked about also too getting many more field trainers. So then the question is going to be, well, what do I need to do to become a field trainer? Because you have a license does not qualify you to become a field trainer. That is the time, I should say, to get with the head coach here, which is my husband, and just say, what, DP, what is it that I need to do to become that? And so when you set yourself up, when DP feel that you are ready, and you all have that conversation, that's how you can become a field trainer. But everything really that Yusuf had spoke on, DP, he's proven himself.
Absolutely.
He's proven himself, in that area. So
absolutely. Yeah, that's well said. Really, learning, getting up to speed, being able to do a presentation. Those are some basic attributes, which kind of brings me to my next point, which is how to become a field trainer. And we know in this base shop, we basically run a 3x5, 2 months in a row. In other words, you basically go out, you recruit 3 people, and do 5,000 in production, that will qualify you as a field trainer. Why? It doesn't mean that you're superb, you know it all. No, it just means that you've proven that you can do it. And that's one of the reasons why we have score. We keep score.
Yes.
There's so many people who may know more than you, who can tell you all about the business more than you, but they haven't proven it. So if you prove it, and you know it from how, because you've done the numbers through experience, then you earn that right to be able to teach and work with other people. Field training is not so much. It's not so much for everyone. right? Because some people choose to come into the business and maybe they don't want that added responsibility of becoming a field trainer. But then there's many people who come through the door and they say, hey, look, I would love to, train a team and work with people. And they find out that it's really not that difficult. I mean, it's the really golden goose, as far as getting to regional vice president, is becoming a field trainer. So I certainly really love the idea of having field trainers and having competent field trainers. And as TP alluded to, we need to get more. Man,
Absolutely.
we need more. This is by no means to say this is not subjective. As I mentioned, this is, you do the numbers, man, we gladly will promote you to field trainer. So I certainly want to, thank you guys for your attention. Just, as a wrap, Lee, anything you want to say to kind of, allude to maybe give somebody a little bit more hope and, as far as pursuing field trainer?
What I would say is, like my coach has always told me, this is a duplicatable business. You definitely want to duplicate yourself in this business, but first of all, you want to always lead from the front. You want to prove your worthiness of becoming a field trainer. So once you prove yourself, I think it's 2 months in a row that you got those numbers 3 by 5, you could become a field trainer. So that's my advice to all the new people and people that pursue to become a field trainer.
Absolutely, absolutely. What about you, TP?
What I would add in conclusion is, number one, find out, what do I need to do to become a field trainer? Number two, make sure you show up to everything. Number three, work on the skill, on your skill craft. So meaning we just don't wing it over the phone. Because I've worked at the Senate didn't qualify me to be able to call the clients, because you gotta make sure you learn the lingo. So that right there, to me, DP, is definitely important, is the showing up part.
Yeah.
But show up when you don't even feel like showing up.
Absolutely.
Because the time that you don't feel like showing up is what you're going to really need to take it to the next level. So, just go back to your why. Why did you even say, yes to the business? And, just continuously, like I said, to work on your self, stay excited. But you got to plug into everything.
Absolutely, absolutely. So well said. As far as guys' comments, plugging in is so critical, because man, I remember when I was a district leader, there were times with my job it would take me out of town and I would miss stuff, and I'd just be a maniac on Monday morning, because I was like, I missed Saturday training, I missed something, what is it, and I just knew I wanted to soak in and plug into everything. So critical. I want to thank you guys for, plugging into field training conversation that we had today. Certainly appreciate you, TP, and some good points. You guys both shared some great nuggets, and man, as we continuously, take our base shop to 50 by 50, and man, just really, you, Lee, going out to regional vice president. I can't wait, man. I'm so excited for your future, and appreciate you guys being very attentive to that.
Yes.
So hey, we will see you at the tip, because the top's not high enough. God bless and have a great day.
God bless.
All right.